Holding Strong's first Ask Me Anything session. And I wanted to do this to give everyone a chance to actually kind of ask me anything on the fly. And I'm going to start off with kind of going through some of the poll questions that I put up to get your feedback on, and just random things that I've done since I was able to start posting in the community chat. So while we kind of settle in and some people join, I will begin with some of the poll questions that I wanted to go through until I get an actual live question. And feel free to chime in, message in, and ask me a question, and I will answer it. So I have here one of my first poll questions that I put up, and I asked, what was more important to you? Was it high quality razors and shavers, or is it high quality shaving cream, gel, or other type of product? And the majority of you actually said that the quality razors and shavers mattered more to you. And I can understand why, because it's the actual thing that's doing the cutting, right? It's the actual thing that's shaving our head or our neck or our face. So I can understand why you want the quality to be there instead of the product. But also don't skimp on product either. I think this is an underutilized, underrated thing. So highly recommend that you don't also skimp on the products. My experience is when you have good quality oil like a pre-shave, and then you go into good quality cream, gels, and then you use a great razor, the shaving experience just begins to go through the roof. And there's different types of products out there too. You have shave soap, you have cream, and some people just use actual oil for shaving. It doesn't even have to be another type of product. It could just literally be oil. And also following up a little bit of exfoliating, some other skincare routine is highly recommended. I'll move on to the next poll question that I had put up. I asked my fans, all of you, which category did you fall in? Subscribed with notifications turned on, subscribed or not subscribed yet. And not shocking, because I know this is a lot of YouTubers out there. Majority of you are not subscribed, and I can understand that. If I were you, I would probably be a little hesitant to subscribe in the first place. But I would also suggest, why not? Because if you have come across my product, my videos more than once, maybe that's a sign to actually subscribe. Maybe you should. All right. And I got a question. Do you have a favorite product of all time? Wow, that is a great question. Actually, yes. And it's funny because it's a product that was never intended to be used to shave one's head, and that's even per the manufacturer. And that's Harry's. Harry's razor blades is probably one of my favorite products of all time, because it was something unique that I was able to take that wasn't meant for something, and then I ended up believing it was one of the best priced razor blades. And I'll get onto that in a little bit later with another poll question that I put up. So that was a great question. Favorite product of all time. But that's if it's razors. If it's if it's actual product, that's a tough one to answer. I don't even think I could answer that one. I couldn't probably answer it as a name brand. I would probably answer it as like an idea, and that is actually using shave oil instead of actually specifying a specific name brand. I would say it's a type of product, meaning shave oil. That's a great question. Going on to the next one I brought up. It was actually about this live stream. So I asked about doing a live stream, and that was, would you want me to do it? And the majority of you said yes. So that's hence why I'm doing this now. So move on to the next one, which I feel will bring in more uh, topics to talk about. And that was the best value razor brand out there. And I say razor brand instead of electric shavers because they are starkly different and it's very different. So I asked if it's Harry's, Dollar Shave Club, Gillette, or other. Gillette won. And honestly, I was kind of surprised by that because, in all my experience, I don't necessarily consider Gillette a high value razor brand. Meaning, I guess I shouldn't necessarily say value, I should say value slash price. So now that I reread this, I can kind of understand that context of value. So people know the name Gillette a lot more than they would say Harry's or Dollar Shave Club or some of the other smaller name brands. So now that I actually kind of work through that with you all, I can understand why you would think Gillette would be the highest value because they've been around much longer. Now, after Gillette, people voted it was a tie between Harry's and other. And I'm actually kind of curious as what other razor brands people were using in the other category. Feel free to comment or send a message in the chat about that. I am actually very interested about that as to what you would consider to be the other brands. Me personally, I mentioned it before as one of my all-time favorites has been Harry's. And don't get me wrong, I've been given a lot of other brands to use, and they are amazing. But again, my favorite with Harry's was the fact that even they say it's not meant for head shaving, but yet I think it was probably one of the best razors to actually shave your head with. So, and then Gillette. Gillette has just so many different types of blades, right? You have like the Mach 3, you have so many different razors that they've come out with, and a lot of people have gotten used to those razors and they really love their razors. And I don't blame you. If you have something that works for you, if it's not broke, don't fix it. That's one of my biggest suggestions. So, and again, everyone, please don't hesitate to actually send in your comments in the chat. I'm here to answer them. You can ask me anything. Earlier we had Deborah who actually asked what was my favorite product, so which was a great question. How do you get bald head shiny if you have a dry scalp? So, smoothness is key. So if you want the actual shiny look, if you have dry skin, you need to moisturize. The idea is also to have your skin as smooth as possible because that shiny look comes from like reflected light, right? So you want to get as close a shave as you can, but you also want to take care of that skin afterwards. So I recommend, some shave oils, really take care of the process, but just keep that skin as smooth as possible. Get as close a shave. Honestly, you want the really shiny head. I recommend that you use a razor if you're not, because you're going to get a closer shave too, because the hair follicles tend to kind of help make it look more matted if you kind of have it a little bit more stubble look. But that's a great question. But if you ask me, the best way to do it is kind of like a cause and effect. You want the smoothest skin possible. It's going to help you a lot achieving that shiny look when you have a dry skin. Great question. Thank you for that. Great questions. The two that I've gotten, great questions. So while we wait for any more questions, I'd like to say that I want to thank all of you who have watched me and followed me. What really is the difference between razors and an electric shaver? That's another great question. When I talk about razors and electric shavers, what I mean by that is a razor is a manual blade that you must actually move on your scalp. An electric is essentially that. An electric shaver is it's electric. It's going to have spinning heads, or in some cases it's a foil style. So those are the difference. Like a razor is a manual blade, kind of like Gillette or Harry's or anything, and then an electric shaver is going to be your mechanical devices? So that's another great question. And if you're watching me for the first time, welcome. And if you get any value and you want to check out more of my videos, please do so. And if you like what you're hearing or you feel like you're getting any more value out of it, please subscribe. It helps me, it'll help you, and we can all be part of a bigger community. Us bald people. And what I talk about does not even have to be just for men. Women are included in this community. Through Instagram and some of the people I've met over there are a lot of very strong women who are bald and not by choice. So I always like to say they're stronger than me. I know I call myself bald and strong as far as this channel is concerned and my other social platforms, but women who battle alopecia and everything, you're stronger than me. How often is it recommended to shave your head? That's another great question. And that is dependent upon what look you are going for and what kind of routine that you have. Because shaving your head, of course, it takes time. And especially in the beginning, if you're new to shaving, it's going to take more time for you to build speed and not nick yourself. I mean, I've been shaving I even forget how long, and I have nicked my head every now and again. So I shave my head every other day. Now, if you want the perfectly smooth head, you're going to need to shave every day. That's going to be an everyday thing. If you kind of want like the stubble look, I recommend usually probably using electric shavers and kind of buzzing that about every other day. Now, if you use a regular razor blade, you can go every other day as well. But shaving every day has its cons. The pro is you get that awesome look you're looking for. The con is you have more risk of irritating the skin. You can get ingrown hairs. You can get other types of debris inside of your pores and it starts to clog. You may get like acne look on your head. So shaving every day, if you are going to do it, you're going to need to take care of it afterwards. You're going to need to, wash your head really well. I recommend cold water afterwards, but I recommend shaving every other day to keep a maintained look. But that's the look that I want. So frequency is completely dependent upon your ideal look, your goal. That was another great question. I'm curious as to where some of you are listening from or watching from. So feel free to comment that down below. I'm kind of interested. And I'm also kind of interested as to when some of you actually started shaving your head. I've had some conversations via comments in some of my videos, and some people are bald by choice, some people are not. Doesn't matter to me. You're welcome here in this community no matter what. Even if you're just on the ropes of wanting to start shaving your head, everyone's welcome. I actually have a question for some of you, now that I come up with it. And that is, what style video is your favorite of mine? Feel free to comment as well. I'm considering it and going gray, and it's annoying, and I have nice hair. Someone's watching from Florida. I'm in Florida too. But to answer your question, to comment about the one gentleman's, he's considering going bald, it's because of your gray hair. So there's something I'd like to say, and it comes from a saying, and that is, people are more willing to change when the pain of remaining the same becomes greater than the pain of the actual change. So the gray hairs, that's a fact. I mean, look at my beard. So I can't really necessarily comment on that. I would say, though, you have no risk to this. Shaving your head is not permanent. It's not like getting a tattoo. If you don't like it, to go back to where you were, you do absolutely nothing. All you have to do is just let it grow back. You lost nothing but a little bit of time, but you may have everything to gain by trying it. Because there's no risk here. Chances are you probably maybe have what you need to shave your head. Now, if you've got long hair, right, don't just try and take a razor to it. You need to do that in stages. If you don't have trimmers or anything like that, like hair trimmers, I recommend going to a barber, getting it buzzed really close, and truth be told, my first experience with having my head shaved, I didn't actually do it. I actually went to the Art of Shaving when they were around by me. There's not many left. That's how I got my head shaved the first time. And then after that, I felt confident and I started doing it on my own. And that wasn't without challenge because there's a lot of times where it would take me forever to start. So cautious because I'm like, I'm putting a blade on my head. It's kind of daunting at first. So just take your time, don't rush it. But yeah, to answer your question, I would, of course, I'm biased, but go for it. And the only thing you have to lose is a little bit of time. Great comment. I want to talk a little bit about age and in this environment, as far as like one losing people's hair, whether by choice or not, age is not so much a factor because I've seen people begin going bald at a very young age, even before they're 30. I've seen it happen in 20s. So it's genetics. There's a bunch of old wives' tales, of course. You know, the old saying, oh, it comes from the father's side. This is one that I actually believed for a while, but after I researched it a little bit further, that's not true. Wearing hats too much causes you to lose your hair. Again, also false. There's just so many different things, and it's just pure genetics, unless there's other medical factors. But genetics alone can do it. I just wanted to comment about age. Don't feel ashamed if you're 30 or less and you're losing your hair. You're not alone. You actually have company, whether they want to admit it or not. So I'm gonna give it a few more minutes for some more questions, and otherwise, I think that this was a. I got some great questions in on this, and it's been a great success in my eyes. And I look forward to hearing any more about anyone's journey as far as joining the bald lifestyle, because it is a lifestyle, and it should be embraced. And you're amongst friends in this channel, in this group, Bald and Strong. If you haven't joined yet, please do by subscribing. And for every time you subscribe, for every person that subscribes, you get 10 years good luck. How about that? So, everyone, again, I'll just close out here shortly by saying thank you for stopping by, everyone who did, and thank you for all your questions. And I think I'll start making this a monthly thing, unless people want me to do it more. I think I'll begin doing it once a month now going forward. And I hope you all enjoyed it. If you haven't yet, if you don't know who I am, I'm Mike. This is Bald and Strong. where being bald's a lifestyle, and I'm here to help you make the most of it. Thanks so much, and until the next time.